Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're reviewing the brand new episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury, Episode 4, New Recruits, which obviously, as the name implies, and if you've really been paying attention at all to what's been going on with the series, introduces the last two Rangers of the main five of Power Rangers Dino Fury, the Black Ranger and the Green Ranger, and we'll get to that, but the episode actually starts out in Area 62, with Void Knight and Mucus creating a new general. Though they also have a normal Sporix with them. What was his name? I think it was like Dragnarok or something like that. But they made this new general, Boom Tower, and who we've known his name for a little while because they announced him as part of the toy line a few months back. But either way, he is as a character, he is kind of basic, kind of the just angry, deep-voiced villain. But honestly, that's kind of expected. You know, you can't have. There's gonna be at least one or two of those villains in a season, and I'm kind of okay with it. But also at the same time, there's plenty of series for them to develop. I think, from what I hear about Ryusoulger, kind of rotates through generals, so this general will be here for 5 or so episodes, and then they'll be destroyed, and then a new general will take its place. I don't know. If you know more about Ryusoulger and you want to let me know in the comments, feel free to do so. Some interesting trivia: Boom Tower is voiced by Mark Mitchinson, who has previously voiced a bunch of characters in Power Rangers. He voiced General Shifter in Power Rangers RPM, who's a similar character to Boom Tower. Creepox in Megaforce, Singe in Dino Supercharge. He voiced a few Monsters of the Week in Super Samurai, and he voiced Space Sheriff Skyfire back in Super Ninja Steel. So now he's back in his third regular appearance villain in Boom Tower. So then after this, we get to check in on the Rangers because Zaito is applying to work at Buzz Blast with Amelia. And let me just say, Zaito, Amelia, and Ali are, at this point, they've really grown into being a team. And maybe that the two new members will shake things up. But honestly, like, the trio are already a really good team. They really have great chemistry together in this episode, but they also have great chemistry with the two new Rangers, which we'll talk about. But in this scene, we're introduced to Javi, who is the Black Ranger, played by Chance Perez, and he is also interviewing for the Buzz Blast position, and he is a musician. He plays the harmonica, and he wants the job to save up for a guitar. And it's kind of interesting because in real life, Chance Perez was part of a boy band, so maybe that'll factor into it. But anyway, they're both Zaito and Javi are the finalists for the job, and so they're each given something to report on. Javi is told to find out about this orb at a local museum that supposedly has magical powers. And then Zaito is told to interview a big high school athlete, or maybe it's college athlete, I'm not sure, Izzy Garcia. And so they go off and do that, their things. The trio goes over to this stadium, which I, again, can't remember if it's high school or college, but there they meet Izzy, who is going to be the Green Ranger, played by Tessa Rao, and they have great chemistry between them, and Zaito gives her some pointers on throwing a javelin, which is a great thing to work into her character because Dino Fury Green uses a javelin as a weapon. And on top of that, because Zaito gave her a pointer, she lets them interview her. But their interview is cut short when there's a monster alert because Boom Tower, Mucus, and Dragnarok are all attacking the museum because Void Knight wants the orb to make Boom Tower pretty much invincible. So they have to go over there and stop the monsters from taking the orb. Of course, Javi is there, and he ends up taking the orb and running off with it. Something kind of interesting, we get another appearance by Warden Garcia, who I'll talk about in a second, who shows up and tries to stop the monsters before the Rangers even get there, which is a cool moment for him. We get to see there's heroics in the family, so to speak, because it's revealed that in a later scene that Izzy and Javi are siblings, and Warden Garcia is actually their dad or their stepdad. You know, it's kind of complicated, but either way, that's an interesting thing to kind of loop them back into things that we've already known, and I think that was really well done there. And some interesting about Warden Garcia, you might be like, why is a park ranger showing up to stop monsters? Well, the answer is, Simon Bennett actually said on Twitter that Warden Garcia was originally Officer Garcia in development, but then because of the Black Lives Matter protest last year, they ended up changing him to being a park ranger, and because of that, some of his early episodes, he does act a lot like a cop. So presumably, you know, a cop would show up to fight a monster. So Javi makes off with the orb while the Rangers are fighting the monsters, but Mucus actually turns into slime and attaches to the park ranger car that Javi takes and yells, "It's Morphin slime," while transforming, which is maybe the best thing we've seen in this series so far. But anyway, after that, we do get some bits with Jane and Jayborg. Maybe that was a little before, but throughout the episode we get bits with Jane and Jayborg. And this in this episode, we get Jayborg trying to report the news on camera and stuff going on with the teleprompter. And I think it's actually legitimately kind of funny, which is, you know, often you shake your head a little bit at those kind of bits and say, okay, those are for the kids. But in this case, I think it was actually pretty good. So after that, they meet up with Izzy and they find out that they're siblings. And they go to this spot that Javi hangs out at to practice his music. But of course, the villains have made their way there first. So they're fighting again, and then Izzy and Javi, acting very heroically, are kind of working together to keep the orb from the monsters. And then Javi decides that the important thing to do is to destroy the orb so that Boom Tower doesn't become invincible. And then, lo and behold, inside the orb are the Dino keys for the Black and Green Rangers, which turn them into Rangers. And that scene is really great. I think Burt Sellen's music has been really good throughout this series, but I think that that scene, specifically the score, was really, really great. So they they transform into Rangers and they start fighting. There's a lot of great choreography there. I'm assuming at least some of that is Sentai footage. And it's, again, really good. And then after that, they do the Zord battle. Probably just to include them. We don't get the Black and Green Zords, though it's hinted that we'll get them later, which of course we're going to get them later. But kind of like what they did sometimes in Dino Charge, the Green and Black Rangers can show up in the cockpit for the Megazord, even though their Zords aren't there. And the Megazord battle itself is also really good. The Megazord, obviously this is Sentai footage, but the Megazord does run around a lot. It's very fast, unlike a lot of Megazords which are slow because they're these big robots. This one's actually pretty fast, kind of reminds me of the Jungle Fury Megazord in that sense. But it was a really good fight scene. And then after that, there's a lot of great chemistry between the whole team in the final scene. And overall, really good episode. Strong point for the season so far. This has been a really good season so far. And I'm hoping, even if it dips in quality after this, it'll be like, well, at least those first 4 episodes were really good. So, I hope that this season can keep up the quality it's been having for the past 4 episodes. But what did you guys think of this episode? I thought it was really great. Let me know your thoughts about the episode in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe for daily videos on the franchises you love. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.